The mic. There you go. That was you.
Enjoying this weather, even though I'm inside.
Right.
Cool.
Do you like hot weather?
I do. As long as there's no humidity.
Yeah. Oh, see, this is humid.
Great. This is too humid.
This is already stuffy.
Yes.
By the way, the 847 says all accidents after 5 p.m. are the fault of Patti Vasquez because she's so great to I think they meant Patty. Since we do the Petty Patty,
right.
I don't mind that at all. Patti Vasquez's show. That's very kind of you. So thank you so much. And the 708 says, since the ginger con man entered politics, no one has ever asked how many abortions has he paid for. Why? I don't know. Have people given up on reproductive rights? Why let Republicans move on from their favorite issue? Don't they continue to push for regulating women's bodies? Well, beyond that, it's also like the state by state, like Missouri put it to their voters in the state of Missouri, because that was the whole thing, right? Leave it up to the states. So the residents of Missouri by a majority necessary to protect and enshrine women's reproductive rights. The state legislature is moving to make sure that doesn't happen and that abortions are basically banned. So, I think that that's the thing about flooding the zone. This is exactly what the Federalist Society, this is what the Heritage Foundation was fighting for, was to have us be so overwhelmed that their big grand issue, which is controlling women's bodies, would be ignored because we're dealing with so many, like the lack of due process, taking a $400 million plane from Qatar, letting in now, the members of El Chapo and the drug cartel, giving them gold card memberships to the United States, and that's the whole thing. We have people from South Africa who can get all kinds of resources, but that's because they're very they're just as pasty as Elon. So there's that, right, Lady B?
Right.
Oh my! It's so much going on. What is there anything that's caught your attention today, Lady B?
Well, the cartel is getting a gold visa. That I'm like, really?
Right.
I'm like, I don't get it. And also that they're giving in Africa, South African, they're inviting them here.
Yep.
I'm like, really?
Yep, because they're oppressed. Yep.
Right, yeah, but you want to kick out all the black and brown people. Really?
Well, I don't know what that's about.
Okay. I see.
We see you. Mm-hmm. We see you. Well, yeah, I don't... It's so funny. Well, at any rate, we'll start taking calls in a few moments. So there is. I've been mentioning this all week because the Republicans in the House are working on this bill or the budget, in order to satisfy Donald Trump's need to cut taxes for the richest in our country. Overwhelmingly, the proposed cuts, $880 billion to Medicaid, the cuts to SNAP benefits, are all in order to make sure that those tax cuts for the wealthiest become permanent that he passed several years ago. But the cuts for the middle class are not permanent. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and a lot of these cuts go into effect in 2027, by the way. So but here's the thing. So that people don't start feeling the burden of it until after the 2026 elections. Okay. Strategery.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I see you. We see you.
Mm-hmm.
We see you. All right. So that's all. That's not everything that's happening, but there's a lot happening. Social Security is also on the chopping block. There's just so many things. So to answer your question, from the let's see which one, the 708. That's why it's been hard to make sure that we are amplifying the stories of women who are living in states where there is essentially a full ban on access to reproductive health. And by that, I mean women who are going into sepsis, who are having miscarriages. They are so their voices are being suppressed, because we are focusing on so many other things.
Right. It's a distraction. That's what he's doing.
That's the point.
And it's hurting us.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, it's taking our rights away, and the voter suppressions too, and that's happening to a lot.
Yeah, here in Missouri, lawmakers are going to repeal the abortion protections that voters had demanded and had voted for by a majority. They've passed a referendum yesterday, and this would repeal all the things that voters said. That's what I'm saying. Their voices are being suppressed,
right,
in places like Missouri. Mm-hmm. Just saying, there's a lot going on. It's too much to say. What again? So, there are almost 500,000 people in the state of Illinois that stand to lose their coverage. People on the Affordable Care Act, people who are underinsured.
Yes.
They're also going to have these different kinds of work requirements. In order, you have to prove that you are either working or volunteering. I guess that's where they must be getting it from. This guy who called the other day and said, "Why are you people?" Yeah, so it's because it's part of the package for Medicaid that you have to prove that you are. And so people who are already working but are still underinsured have to now take time to go to these to these offices to prove that they are working, because a lot of this is going to be in person.
But a lot of these people can't. It's hard for them to take time off work.
Yeah, to be on hold with the whatever agency you're trying to connect with.
Right, and that cuts off their pay, because sometimes they're not going to pay you to take time off to go to the facility and take care of that.
Nope.
And a lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck.
Exactly.
So. Come on, they're really, really hurting the people who are trying to make it.
Yep.
All we're doing is just trying to make it, and this is making it worse.
Because we're disposable. We are in the way of the wealthy accomplishing what they want, which is their permanent tax breaks, their passive incomes protected, that making sure that those who are benefit them the most. Yeah, we're just a drag. We're just a drag on. Yeah.
And then also, Joan's guest, I forgot her name. She talked about the child care and stuff.
Yeah.
That's going to affect a lot of people
that
have kids and they're working, because a lot of people, again, cannot afford child care. The cost of it for one child is a lot.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's one of the reasons why when Steve lost his job in 2008, there were jobs that we thought about. Like there was one in Naperville. It would be an hour in each direction, right? So now we're paying for childcare, especially for a child who has medical needs. Right now we have to hire somebody who isn't just for childcare, or Declan couldn't have just gone to, preschool. He would have to go someplace where people can care for a child with a disability.
Right.
So we were like, you know what? So he left the workplace in order to be a full-time caregiver. Yeah. So that's an income that's out of the workplace.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. But so they want to make it harder for everybody. And plus, if you do have insurance from your workplace, like fortunately, I love my job during the day. I love working for the state of Illinois and researching and supporting the work that so many caregivers provide, educators, medical professionals, nonprofits who are doing the heavy lifting and making sure that people are safe. After school programs, senior programs. I love doing my work. But I can't. I mean, like when I had my last job at the other radio station, one of the things that scared me the most was not having healthcare coverage. Yeah. You become absolutely strapped to your job, and you are not. That's not freedom.
It's not.
It is not freedom when you are always you're just one illness away from losing your job. Because I do think that Steve lost his job because they saw the long-term care for Declan.
Right.
Right. You're afraid of getting sick and losing your house. If you are unemployed, then you can't have that health care.
Exactly. And the stress that causes a person. I know you were under a lot of stress thinking about that.
Yeah. It was terrifying. One listener says, of all the voting demographics that failed us on November 5th, perhaps the most puzzling to me are the Gen Z and millennial women that felt a dozen or so transgender female athletes were a bigger threat to them than abortion bans. Well, and we've talked about that too. I'm glad that the mayor-elect of Omaha, Nebraska, we were talking to Ellie Krug, the illegal trans woman from KTNF in Minneapolis, was saying that they ran counter ads. Like basically, they want to get into your bathrooms. They want to look underneath the stall walls and see what's between your daughter's legs. And that's the truth. They're doing that. Like there are a lot of videos out there of women being followed into bathrooms, women's bathrooms, because they look like men. Right, they present like men, but they're not. Right, and then people are calling law enforcement on them to go into. Now you're sending men, police officers, into women's bathrooms to determine whether or not someone's a woman. Like, what are you doing? And the number of trans athletes that affects your life, right now listening, call me if I'm wrong.
Right,
Is 0. Don't make me angry. I just felt my heart rate. I can't get too angry because a friend of mine from high school, his daughter's coming in studio in a moment, and I want to be all cheerful and excited for her EP that's coming out. So let me take a break in just a moment. We'll take your phone calls. 773-763-9278 is the Credo mobile phone line, and of course also our text line. Credo mobile phone and text line 773-763-9278. Credo Mobile, a progressive phone company that is better for all people and the planet. Visit credomobile.com. Let's take a break here. We're broadcasting in Chicago on WCPT 820, and hello to our friends listening in the evenings on KKNW 1150, Seattle, Washington.
If Cage Walls Could Talk with Jody Whittaker.
Captain Paul Watson is a marine wildlife conservation and environmental activist.
And as his head rose out of the sea and his eye was there right before me, so close I could see my own reflection in that eye, that whale understood what we were trying to do because I could see the effort he made to pull himself back. And instead of crashing forward, he began to slide back to the sea as I disappeared beneath the surface, and he died. He could have killed us and chose not to. So I owe my life to that whale.
If Cage Walls Could Talk, Saturdays at 5.
If you're drowning in debt, you need to call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender, about a fresh start debt consolidation refinance. Today, meet Jordan, 47, project manager, married to Jackie, 43, executive assistant, combined income 260 G's a year, living in a $600,000 home with their 3 kids, called to pay off $120,000 worth of credit card debt, high interest rate consumer loans, and 2 401k loans. Team Hochberg loan officer Cindy Piazza helped Jordan and Jackie pay off their debt, eliminated their stress with the Team Hochberg Fresh Start Debt Consolidation Refinance, which saved them over $12,000 a year. Team Hochberg's helped thousands of radio listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. That number again is 855-563-2843 or visit that website you know and love, 56david.com. Lower.com, equal housing lender, MLS 1124061.
WCPT 820, Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter.
If you're listening to this station right now, you've definitely heard my voice before. Hi, I'm Hawk.
And I'm Pete. And we're with Source Solar, your local source for solar. Source Solar is Chicagoland's premier solar installer, providing solutions for over 1,000 homeowners and business owners across Illinois and Iowa.
With over a decade of industry experience and deep roots here in Chicago, we have the expertise to help your transition to clean, renewable, resilient energy.
We can guarantee that we save you money day one without any out-of-pocket cost to you. This means you have an instant ROI, instant payback, and can save money to add to your bottom line day one.
At Source Solar, we source everything as local as possible, meaning we always carry the Made in USA sticker.
Find us online at www.source.solar. Stop in our office at 5710 North Northwest Highway or give us a call at 773-985-3992.
And don't forget to ask for Hawk
or Pete.
Patti Vasquez is taking your calls now.
All right, let's hit it.
At 773-763-9278.
I got a lot to say.
He's driving it home with Patti Vasquez.
We are taking your calls and your texts on the Credo mobile phone and text line at 773-763-9278. I want to remind you to go visit our anniversary page. WCPT's 20th anniversary page is at heartlandsignal.com/anniversary, where you'll find an audio player that includes our full 4.5-hour May 3rd broadcast. So you can go out there, garden, listen to our show. Maybe there was something you missed, and you'll have all the different conversations we had that day with special guests, including Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton, Jill Winebanks. Plus, you'll see photos covering 20 years of WCPT right up to our May 3rd shindig at Max and Benny's. Let's get to our phone calls. Jim is on the line out of Chicago. What's on your mind, Jim?
Hi, Patti. Maria Russ is on my mind. She won the Nobel Peace Prize, the Philippine woman who won the Nobel Peace Prize in the Philippines, and she was arrested immediately, so that she was a subversive and so on. She finally got extricated herself. I don't think she can leave the country, but she had 4 visits with Pope Francis before he died, and they were talking, why is the world so screwed up? And Maria Ressa said, well, it's got to be the internet, because 72% of the earth are going toward dictators, and they're putting nonsense out, and people can't discern what it is. They can't discern it. What they see, anyway, that's not the point. We can't do anything about it. But 70% of the earth are going toward dictators. Now, take our circumstance. We have these Project 2025, which Trump knows nothing about. He has no idea what that is. He never read it. You can bet your life on it. But they've got the stalking horse. They've got the screwball in there, so now they can push all their Republican wet dreams on us. Where you work requirements. What does that mean? They're not supplying any work for anybody, Patty. You're not going to get. In other words, you're not going to go and say, "Well, let's see, you're out of work. Well, here we've got work for you somewhere." There is no such thing as that with Republicans. They don't supply work. They've never supplied work. So that's just a red herring. That doesn't even make any sense. And think about it this way: let's say that you are on Medicare and you're not feeling well. You got emphysema, whatever the case may be. Are you really going to where are you going to go volunteer at a homeless shelter? When they've turned their back on all the homeless in the United States already by cutting HUD housing, that Reagan started cutting HUD housing by $250,000 a year for 8 years. That's why there's homeless people. Mm-hmm. It was passed in the 60s. This is the way it works. You pay a third of your income, whatever your income is. It's a one-bedroom, whatever it is. But it's affordable, and you can do it. Well, the Republicans didn't like that idea. They wanted people to work, and the reason they want them to work is because they want to live off their sweat like feudalism for 800 years and 2,000 years. That's how we got rid of King George, wasn't it? It was feudalism. That's what it is. It's the top down. It's from the top down.
Well, I wonder, Jim. When you mentioned that, what's wrong with people, and is the internet what's making people? Is there a dumbing down, or is there an inability, like a lack of critical thinking? I also think, when we ponder throughout the history of mankind, the ways in which we have hurt each other, the ways in which we seek to hurt each other, almost for sport, for game, I even like torturing people publicly. I mean, it was only until how many years ago that we had public hangings? You know what I mean? Like people salivated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. They loved. Those were huge spectator sports in Europe. People would come from 30 miles away, men, women, and children, to watch people on a rack and being ripped apart. They love that. Yeah. Well, they love it. But, Patty, I remember a girl who delivered babies, and she made a claim. She said, let's say 10 babies are born tonight at a hospital. 2 of those babies are going to have empathy. Yeah. Because she could tell by the way that they cry. But 8 of them aren't.
Well,
8 of them aren't.
And they're...
But still,
and
there's the rub.
Yeah, that's the rub.
There's the rub, yeah. There's the rub. But the point is, you can practice it. I mean, we can. In other words,
some people can choose. Sure.
Well, no, but I mean, if you don't have it, you can still practice it. You can realize that helping your neighbor is the best thing for the whole country.
I know. But you're being reasonable. You're asking people to be reasonable, and again.
Until I die, Patty, I'm going to ask them to be reasonable because I don't care. I don't care what they say. But anyway. But we got to. But the point is, when we cut out immigrants and he's taking just white people, that's only hurting the country as a whole. It's hurting the United States. Yeah. Desperately hurting, because we need everybody here. We need everybody. My dear wife had brain surgery, and to save her life, she passed away at 4 years. But anyway, the surgeon was a black guy, but he was the most empathetic cancer guy that we had. He said, boy, you look like a nice couple. He goes, this is going to be terrible. The point is, I plan to make, we need everybody, Patty.
Yep.
We need everybody.
I know.
We can't just...
But we don't here's the thing, and there are moments where what I think, to your point about the internet, I think what we most likely will be what we will be unable to do is to coalesce, right? The way we did after 9/11. I think 9/11 is going to be the last time. I mean, unless something else happens. But I mean, the pandemic, you saw how misinformation spread and distrust and not relying on science and the truth. I mean, like, you know, if that wasn't a time when we were going to pull together, but we are not going to be cutting back on rubber and butter and nylon stockings the way we did during World War II, my friend.
No,
right?
And Zuckerberg is on TV the other night. Just believe this or not, that here's a crazy person who has a bomb shelter as big as Hawaii.
Yes,
and he
I
said,
told you that.
So they asked him, but they asked him. They said, "Why are children so lonely?"
Oh.
He goes, "Well, they're not getting enough Facebook time."
Yep.
Okay. Well, why don't you give them cigars to smoke? I mean, my point is, why would they ask Zuckerberg that insane question anyway? Is he a child psychologist? He doesn't know anything about why a kid is. Yep. I mean, he's not. You know what I mean, Patty? But that was so even with Jones' last bit of the show. One of the journalists said, he goes, anybody can get on the internet and claim that they're an expert on anything. I mean, you don't even need any credentials. You just, you just barge in and say the craziest thing. Anyway, there's nothing we can do about it, Patty. But we can only vote Democratic. That's all we can do. That's all we can do.
Until they throw us off the rolls, there, Jim. Take care. Take a deep breath.
Have a safe time in New Orleans, Patty.
I'll do my best. Thanks so much. Take care, Jim. And Myrna's calling in Chicago. Myrna, what's on your mind, my friend?
Hi, I am just so I haven't stopped laughing since yesterday when I heard about the cartel moving to the U.S.
Yeah,
you know, I never say
right.
I know, I never say karma. I always say things have a way of taking care of themselves. And here you have all these white people, well, not just white people, but, a mixture of MAGAs who complain and pushed and kept, saying, yeah, we need to get rid of all these migrants and criminals. We need them out of our country. And look what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
You got rid of a few thousand. You got rid of some who were actual citizens. And now your president is welcoming a cartel family as if they were royalty.
Yep.
Not just
because they got something to offer. Yeah.
Exactly. So I haven't seen anything because that came out yesterday, kind of early afternoon on the news. I have not seen a single post anywhere talking about that from any side.
Isn't that crazy?
And I'm just like, I'm like, okay, so where are you guys at now? Are you hiding under rocks because a cartel family moved into your neighborhood?
Mm-hmm. 17 members. For folks who are just hearing this, as Myrna's saying, it's not really being covered that much. 17 family members of the drug cartel, part of El Chapo, have entered the U.S. in a deal with the Trump administration. So, and by the way, it was the Mexican administration that let people know that publicly because she's going to throw that out there, folks. I've got to run. I've got a guest coming in studio, Myrna. Thank you so much for calling. And keep laughing. But then also get out there wherever you can. We'll all do our part. Thank you so much, Myrna.
Bye.
Have a good evening. Let's take a break here. When we come back, we're going to talk to Sierra. We're going to talk to Sierra. She's got an album coming out. I'm very excited about this. She's got an EP coming out. I went to high school with her dad, and I saw him at the farmer's market. He's like, hey, my daughter's getting... I mean, like, my dad would have done the same thing. My dad would have been, like, everywhere he could to, like, help my career. So let's get her in here in a moment on WCPT 820, Heartland Signal, and KTNF AM 1150 in Seattle, Washington.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller from the Weatherology Weather Center. Scattered thunderstorms tonight. Some of those could be severe before midnight. A low temperature of 62 with southwest winds at 15 to 30 miles an hour. Isolated storms late in the day Friday. Otherwise sunny and warm with a high of 87. Southwest winds at up to 40 miles an hour. Saturday sunny and cooler. Highs near 70 with west winds at 15 to 30. Sunday sunshine and a high temperature of 58 degrees. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 95.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
Choose Views with Richard Chew.
It's taking action that matters. Whether it was 600, 6,000, or 600,000 people out, there's the impact of the voice being heard, but it's also we feeling like I'm not just sitting watching this train go by, this horror show go by, and not doing something. And then when you find that there are more like-minded people than you realize, you understand that there are more of us than there are of them.
Richard Chew, weekday mornings at 6 on WCPT 820. WCPT 20th Anniversary Replay 2023.
Welcome to the WCPT AM 820 Mayoral Forum. We are so glad all the candidates are here. Commissioner Johnson, you clearly have the support of the Chicago Teachers Union, endorsements, money from them. How are you going to balance those ties with the obligation to oversee CPS as mayor?
Well, again, no one has better incentive on this stage for the city of Chicago to work, particularly its public schools, than someone who was actually sending their children to the Chicago public schools. I think I'll be the first mayor in recent history to actually have children in public schools. Here's the second thing, elected representative school board. We fought for it, we have it. We're going to be negotiating not just with an elected representative school board, the city council, the state of Illinois, the Congress. So it's going to take all of us because the politics of old has left us behind.
Listening to WCPT 820 because facts matter.
This is WCPT 820, where facts matter.
Strong Chicago continues to lead the way with progressive values and in preserving democracy. Your support of the Minocqua Brewing Company Super PAC efforts in Wisconsin and beyond strengthens the fight against MAGA Republicans. You can now purchase progressive beers like Labor Lager, Love Wins Fruited Sour, and the Resistance IPA in Chicago at Rogers Park Provisions, Diversity Beer, Wine, and Spirits in Lakeview, Park West Liquor, Wine, and Beer in Lincoln Park, Logan Square Liquors, and Tip Top Food and Liquors in Westtown. Visit MinocquaBrewingCompany.com for all their Chicagoland locations. As always, no matter how bad our sports teams are, please drink responsibly.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us as we continue to drive it home. You know, one of the things I talk about is while we have all these issues that we're invested in that we want to sort of hammer out together, I also ask you to do something that makes you feel good, something that lifts your spirit. And so when a friend of mine said, hey, I know somebody who has an album coming out, I said, I want to know more, especially because she grew up on the northwest side of Chicago, as did I. Sierra Sikora joins us in studio. She has an album coming out on Monday. Hi, Sierra. How are you doing?
Hi, Patty. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Well, there's so many things that I like about you. First of all, you go to the University of Illinois.
I do.
ILL.
I.
There you go.
Had to think about it for a second.
I know. Now, what dorms are you living in, or did you live in?
I lived in Parr.
Oh, you lived in Parr?
I'm so sorry. No, I liked it.
Did you really? It's so close to the manure.
Oh, I never smelled it.
You never smelled it? Okay, it's because it didn't get hot enough, probably. Because, man, that when you're downwind of that, it's terrible. One of the coolest libraries, though, in the country, I think.
I don't go to the library a lot. I'm not going to lie.
Well, it's underground. The undergraduate library is underground. I love that because they have a historic cornfield right there. Okay, so what we're saying...
I have been by there.
There you go. What we're saying is I'm a bigger dork for the University of Illinois.
I see.
Did you go to Lane Tech?
I did.
Are you a big dork for Lane Tech?
I am. I love Lane.
Excellent. Yeah, I graduated, I don't know, maybe the same year as your dad did.
I see.
1989. So when did you start getting involved? Like, do you remember, wanting to sing or play the guitar or write music?
Well, I've always been singing, but I didn't start actually getting into making my own music till I think I started writing songs in 8th grade. But
really?
Yeah.
And what were you writing songs about when you were in 8th grade?
Oh my gosh, like just silly things.
But you get to. You're in 8th grade. You can't. Yeah. My son is 21 and he gets mad at himself for he's like, I was so dumb. And then it's like, you were young. That's a piece of you, right?
It is.
It was the building blocks.
Yeah, I'd never released those songs, but they did start something. So
exactly.
That's what's important.
And now do you have a band? Because I'm seeing a guy over here with heart-shaped glasses playing in one of your videos on YouTube.
I have a backing band. It's not one set band. Depends where I'm playing. But yeah, I play with a band a lot.
And your release party is coming up this Monday at Uncommon Ground?
It's Sunday.
Oh, Sunday.
Yeah, and it's an EP. The EP comes out Monday.
So the EP, so what's the name of the EP?
It's called Confessions.
And where does this song come from you?
The EP?
Yes.
Well, Confessions, I call it Confessions because it's a collection of things I never said at the time. So it's a bunch of songs I wrote mostly in the first few years of high school, and it's really just reminiscent of that time. So I wrote all these songs a really long time ago, but it's sort of an EP I owe to my younger self.
Oh, that's really sweet. I love that idea. Were you sometimes distracted in high school thinking about like some of the things you wanted to write? You're like, because I'm a stand-up comic, so we're writing on everything. I'll have like receipts, because I'll think of something. Do you find yourself doing that with lyrics and music?
It really depends. Some songs I have written like on the fly, and sometimes it's when I'm at home and it's a convenient time.
Sure.
So it just depends because I write when something comes to me.
Right. Because some people I don't know if you've come across folks like this, but they have a set time. Like they're like, okay, I'm going to spend a half an hour every, right?
No, I can't do that. I can't make myself write something.
Right? Like, okay, I'm going to sit with a pen and paper. Do you do pen and paper? Are you typing things out? What's better for you?
I prefer pen and paper. It's so much easier. But I have written on my phone sometimes, either if I'm out or if I'm just like lazy and I'm in bed already, I'll just pull out my phone. But I prefer paper.
Well, I would say this. There's a lot of great apps for saying something and then it transcribes it. So
True.
Like Otter is really good for that too. And then you have the transcript.
Yeah, that's true.
I do that a lot.
I like need to see the words in front of me though for it to make sense.
That makes sense too. Yeah. So when did you start learning how to play the guitar?
I think it was around my freshman year of high school. I had had a guitar for years, had tried lessons when I was 10 or something and just didn't like it. Oh, actually, I started ukulele in freshman year. I started guitar after that because I was like, oh, now my fingers won't hurt as much. So.
Well, the calluses.
Yeah,
it's really hard to work
up.
Past the calluses.
Yeah, now I'm good though. Now I can play and I can bar chords. Yeah, learning to play bar chords was like a huge upgrade. That was like low-key last year, senior year of high school. I finally got bar chords down.
I have no idea what that means, but I assume that's hard to do.
It's hard.
It's hard. I have what my friends lovingly call an appalling lack of musical knowledge.
Oh, I see.
Meaning that you play like someone could be singing on the radio and I have no idea what the song is, who sang it. Do you have... I have favorites. I love Bonnie Raitt, Melissa Etheridge, mostly female rockers. I love Pat Benatar, Blondie. Who's I love rock and roll? Joan Jett. So those are some of the musicians I grew up.
I see.
Who do you think is who are some of the influences for you?
Two of my favorite artists, I think, are my biggest influences are Conan Gray and Olivia Rodrigo, definitely.
Okay, I'm familiar with Olivia Rodrigo, kind of. Who's the first one?
Conan Gray. He's a little smaller than Olivia Rodrigo.
Okay, I have to write. You see, I'm like you. I have to write things down.
I see.
I love that. So, how would you describe your style of music? Sort of soulful, with a little. How do you describe it to folks?
Like genre, I'd say singer-songwriter, pop. A little bit of indie. It depends because I have a couple different types of songs. I have a folk song out, kind of random. So.
I'm not sure you're shaking your head like you're embarrassed, but I love folk music.
No, I'm not embarrassed. I'm just saying it's kind of different because I usually don't write folk, but then I have a folk song out and I like it. I think I've been trying to write more folky stuff lately. It's a cool genre, but yeah.
And what are you studying at U of I?
Currently undeclared.
Undeclared. All right. What's the rush?
Hoping to go into marketing.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm getting a music minor.
Okay. The nice thing about and the smart thing about doing marketing, because as an artist, a lot of us are not great business minds. We're not good at branding and things like that. And you've already got a really solid.
I like to think I'm pretty okay at it. Pretty good.
Yeah, you've got a really strong following on social media.
Thank you. I do all my own business stuff currently, so yeah.
I think you're going to be okay. Yeah. Is marketing though? Have you taken some of those classes?
I've taken prereqs, but nothing specific.
Mm-hmm. And what's when you're studying music there? Are you expected to do a wider range, like some classical? If you're taking a minor degree,
the minors, basically anything. I can take any electives I want, basically.
Oh,
so
cool.
I've just been planning on taking the music recording and production type courses.
And now, were you somebody who because I had a friend in the dorms who actually went to Lane as well, but he was a year ahead of me, Ron Fernandez. I don't even know where he is. It's been a long time. But he would play guitar in the dorms, which was always kind of nice to have
I do that.
Yeah. Do people gather in your...
No,
nobody gathers?
No, I mean, I played in my dorm room, but I never
With the door closed? No,
no, because people on my floor weren't super social. I feel people just walk by and be like, what's she doing?
No.
I think I was really loud sometimes because my roommate would be down the hall. She'd be like, I can hear you singing from down the all the way across the floor, and I'm like, oh, that's a little embarrassing.
Oh no, I'm sorry that people aren't social on your floor.
No, it's okay.
We always had our doors open. So I lived in Allen Hall. I should probably mention that. So I lived, which is on the way to FAR.
Yeah, I had friends who were there.
You sound so stern. Like you're almost sorry for us.
No.
Yeah,
I always liked visiting Allen.
We were weird. It's
still weird.
Yeah, we were the weird dorm. We were sort of a mix in the 90s. We were sort of a mix of stoners and engineers. Like
I think it's
artsy
probably still that.
We used to have a ceramic studio in the...
Oh, there's still one.
Is there really? Yeah, people would make bongs and things like that. Just saying, I don't know if I should be talking about this with you when your dad's out there. I'm just saying. Well, and FAR, it was perfectly named because it's the farthest dorm from the campus. Where are you going to live next year?
I'm moving into an apartment.
Oh, cool. In Urbana or Champaign? It makes a difference. Oh, geez. Party girl. All right, then. Fine. I'm kidding. Because Urbana was more, I don't know what they call it now, but we were more the granola eaters.
Really?
Like sort of the, more hipster. It wasn't hipster then. What would you, I guess just sort of like, well, GDI definitely, which do they still call people GDI?
I don't know what that means.
Not part of the Greek system.
I'm not in Greek.
Gosh darn independence. Because U of I think at the time in the 90s was the highest percentage of people who were in the Greek system.
There are a lot, but
Isn't that crazy?
There's also a lot who aren't. So
Right.
I feel like most of my friends aren't in Greek, but I know a bunch of people who also are.
Yeah, and so when you're studying music, do you get a chance to like collaborate with other people that are majoring and minoring? That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I actually just me and a band I'm friends with, we just released a collab we did together.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
And how do folks find out about the event on Sunday at Uncommon Ground?
So I am having an EP release party at Uncommon Ground, and it's sold out, so no one else can come.
What the freaking frack?
Sorry. But I will be having a headline concert in August in Chicago, August 11th. More details to come, but that's all I can say right now. So
cool.
Stay tuned for that.
So we can promote that too.
Yeah,
so folks...
that'll be my biggest show of the year because it's like my headline concert. Very exciting.
That's very cool. And where do you like for people to follow you? Like Instagram?
Oh, yeah, Instagram.
Instagram's your favorite?
I also am on TikTok and YouTube, but like lately, like Instagram's my main thing.
Yeah.
So my handle is Sierra Sikora Music, and I'm also on all streaming platforms. My name's Sierra Sikora, SIERRASIKORA.
Excellent. Oh, thank you for doing that because sometimes people say it and I'm like, well, people need to know how to spell that too. And what kind of reaction do you get from your music? Because the nice thing about social media is you have global reach.
Yeah. I mean, so far people usually are like, oh my God, this is so sad. It's so good. That's usually like the reaction to most of my songs.
Meaning you kind of have heartbreaking elements to it?
Yeah, all my songs are sad, pretty much.
Who did you wrong, Sierra? Who did you wrong?
Honestly, like myself a little. I don't know.
Okay.
My emotions.
Does some of it come from like heartache or relationships?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I write about. I do branch out a little bit. Like I have a song, Dear Athena, that's about myself, but a lot of the songs I write are about something romantic related.
Did you do sports at Lane?
I did softball.
Oh, you did? Oh, hello. Me too. Center field.
Really?
Yeah, what'd you play?
I was pitcher.
Oh, gosh. All right, then fine. How are your shoulders? Did you take good care of yourself while you were pitching?
Oh, yeah. I haven't thrown a ball in like months, but during the time, I was good.
You're not playing at U of I at all? Like, not even an intramural?
I don't have time. I'm always singing.
Well, that's the thing, too, is like I played intramurals at U of I after playing at Lane, and you run a risk because you're sort of, you're not training. You're just going and playing once in a while, right? So you run a risk of getting injured. So it's better to
totally
focus on what you like. Do you get to IMPI? Is it called IMPI anymore? Intramural Physical Education Building? I think they changed the name of it.
I don't know what that is. I'm not like involved in intramural sports at all, though.
And you're not working like none of the workout like swimming or none of that?
No, I mean I go to the gym, and lately I've been rock climbing a little bit. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's super fun. But other than that, I don't like do any sports.
All right. Have you been down to Maggie Daly Park to climb downtown? Isn't that beautiful?
I haven't climbed there, but I've definitely been there a few times.
Go climbing. There's a great wall there, and then you're like, it's because you're downtown, the lakefront, the skyscrapers. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. Do you think you'll get a chance to go like climbing in the hiking and climbing, or do you prefer kind of the indoor climbing?
Oh, I think I prefer indoor. Like I can't imagine climbing outside. I feel like I'd fall like off the mountain or whatever I'm climbing.
Right? Yeah. No, I like the indoor wall climbing myself. I've never tried the off. Yeah. No. I need somebody.
I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah. I need somebody down there holding the rope, the whole thing.
Yeah.
The whole system. I don't even know what it's called. The pulley system.
Belay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Belay.
See, yeah, we'll definitely get down to Maggie Daly Park. Is there anything you wanted to make sure you talked about? Like, is this your first radio interview?
No.
Okay, good. You seem very good at it. That's why I was gonna say you're great for the first time.
Well, thank you. Well, I've already mentioned, but my Confessions EP is coming out Monday. Well, technically for this time zone, 11 p.m. on Sunday.
Okay.
I'm very excited about it. I have 4 singles out right now, and 3 of those are going to be on the EP. Been working on it for like technically years, like 2 or 3 years, because the songs I've been writing and then producing. So very glad. It's like my first full body of work that I'm putting out.
It's very exciting, and it's been an honor to meet you. And anytime you want to come on, just you have my email now.
I do.
Just reach out. Do you think you'd want to come back, or was this too weird?
No, yeah, totally. I'd love to.
Good. Excellent. Yeah, please. Anytime you want to let us know if you got something coming up, you just want to do radio again, you're welcome to.
Yeah, I'd love to.
I won't make you talk about the topics of the day. It's a lot going on out there. I don't know if you noticed.
I know.
When do you? So you go back to school in August, right?
Yeah.
All right. What are you planning to do this summer?
Well, I'm playing a lot this summer. I'm seeing Billie Eilish this summer.
Oh, come on.
I'm so excited. I love Billie Eilish.
Where do you see Billie Eilish?
I'm seeing her in London.
What? How are you going to London for?
I'm going in July. I'm just we're turning it into kind of like a vacation type thing.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm just playing shows, seeing shows, and working on more music. I don't know if anyone who listens to me is listening right now, but I will have more music out this summer. I'm working on it.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on all the success you've had so far. I know that you've got a wonderful following on social media. I know it's only going to grow.
Oh, thank you.
And we want to hang out with you some more. It'd be great to have you back.
To.
Thank you. That's Sierra Sikora. It's SIERRA.
Yep.
And find her on social media, on Instagram in particular, but all of the social platforms. And then the website again?
SierraSikora.com.
Excellent. All right. Thank you so much for coming in. I'm going to see you again soon.
Thank you.
I have some phone calls to take when I get back. 773-763-9278. That's the Credo Mobile phone and text line to join our conversation. And we'll be right back after this on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal and KKNW 1150 Seattle, Washington.
Do you disregard people's personal space? Sitting next to people in public, even if there are tons of open seats? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. There's still time. Come to Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale and get a queen mattress and adjustable base for just $499.99. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us, too, in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
You're listening to WCPT 820 because facts matter.
If you're listening to this station right now, you've definitely heard my voice before. Hi, I'm Hawk.
And I'm Pete. And we're with Source Solar, your local source for solar. Source Solar is Chicagoland's premier solar installer, providing solutions for over 1,000 homeowners and business owners across Illinois and Iowa.
With over a decade of industry experience and deep roots here in Chicago, we have the expertise to help your transition to clean, renewable, resilient energy.
We can guarantee that we save you money day one without any out-of-pocket cost to you. This means you have an instant ROI, instant payback, and can save money to add to your bottom line day one.
At Source Solar, we source everything as local as possible, meaning we always carry the Made in USA sticker.
Find us online at www.source.solar. Stop in our office at 5710 North Northwest Highway or give us a call at 773-985-3992.
And don't forget to ask for Hawk
or Pete.
Patti Vasquez is taking your calls now.
We need to speak out about this.
at 773-763-9278.
Hello.
It's Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us as we continue to drive it home. Man, Sierra was delightful, and I can't wait to have her back. I also want to come back to our phone calls and to our text line. 773-763-9278 is the Credo mobile phone and text line. We're thrilled to be partnering with them, a progressive phone company that is better for all people and the planet. Visit credomobile.com. We have a first-time listener. Oh, boy. I'm going to put you in front of Dave from Hoffman Estates. Hey, David. How are you doing today? Hello? Oh, no. I made him wait too long. Is that what happened? Hi, David. Hi, David. How are you doing? Can you hear me? David? Uh-oh. I feel like giving him an extra second. All right. I'm going to come back to you, David. Stand by. Let me get to Dave in Hoffman Estates. Hey, Dave. I'm going to put you on. I know. I made him wait too long, I think. You know how it goes.
Too well. A couple of quick stuff, so maybe you can get David yet before. And then, today is National Peace Officers Day.
Okay.
And tomorrow will be National Bike to Work Day.
Oh no! I'm not going to be here for that. But everyone, anyway, if you feel safe enough and you have a bike that my air in my tires, it's gone.
What I was going to talk to you real quick on, I just read a story where military to screen for gender dysphoria amid transgender ban per memo, saying that the Defense Department will begin screening troops for gender dysphoria during their routine physicals in an effort to boot transgender service members from the armed forces. In a memo published today, the Pentagon's acting head of personnel and readiness tasked unit commanders to help implement the policy immediately. The Pentagon estimates the number of troops affected by gender dysphoria is about 4,200. And about 1,000 voluntarily ID'd themselves to this point and will start the process of departing the military. So there are around 2.1 million members in the U.S. Armed Forces. Active duty service members now have until June 6th to voluntarily ID.
Yep.
And reserve members have until July 7th. If they do not do so, then they will receive a lower severance package and face involuntary removal.
Yep. Yeah, this is what Ellie Krug told us yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, she was talking about this specifically, and it's just insane. And I feel so awful for people who are willing to do a job that most of us can't or won't do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's fine. Let me get off and see if David...
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see
if David gets through this.
That's kind of you, Dave. I appreciate that. Let's see if David's there. David in Chicago. Hello. Are you there?
Hey, can you hear me?
I kind of.
Hello.
I kind of.
Hello, Patty.
Hello, David. How are you doing?
Can you hear me now?
You're sounding a little bit like this. Am I placing an order at the drive-thru? How are you doing? Hi. How you doing?
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Kind of. Are you hiding somewhere? What's going on? Hi. Thank you for calling.
No, I'm on a cell phone. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know.
Gotcha. What's up?
I have a question. Who was the guy that got his car broken into in Chicago, supposedly?
Frank.
Frank?
Yeah. Why do you know him?
No, I don't. No, fortunately, I don't know him.
Right?
It couldn't happen to a nicer guy. I'm very glad it happened to him.
We don't wish ill on anyone. But do you know? I mean, I've lived here for 53 years. I've had my car broken into, 4 or 5 times, all over the city.
I'm really happy that it's a white MAGA Republican that got his car broken into.
Well, isn't it funny? I don't feel less safe because my car was broken into. I just think it was my turn. It's because it could happen anywhere. But yes, I get what you're saying. But yeah, wasn't that bizarre that was what made him so upset, was that he feels safer now. Your car is definitely not getting broken into now that Trump is in office, right, David?
Yeah, right. That's what I like to say to him. I'm very worried. You see, my wife and I are both blind. My wife is in a nursing home, and she can't walk. I'm very, very afraid that if she loses Medicaid, I'm going to get a call from the nursing home telling me they're going to have to kick her to the curb.
Well, the thing I think for families like yours and mine, right? I have an adult son who has severe disabilities, and I think that what's going to happen for us is the part that's going to be hard is going to be re-registering. Like every time they're gonna make sure they want to validate that you or your wife or whoever you're caring for or who you love is actually disabled. That's going to be the part for us. I think the hardest thing is going to be for people who are underemployed, meaning they don't earn enough to be able to afford health care. They don't have a job that helps subsidize that, because we have in Illinois a law that basically says once our federal funding drops below a certain point, people who are on the Medicaid expansion are going to lose that coverage. So I think it's going to be the burden is going to be for folks to constantly have these different thresholds to prove that they are disabled, and it's going to suck. It's going to suck.
How are you going to be able to register if they're closing all the Social Security offices?
That part too. Yep, they're closing. So they've canceled leases on buildings. I know. We're all going to be on the phone, and I've been on the phone in instances where I'm like in this loop, and you press 1 for this, you press 2 for that, and then I get kicked out of the system. I got to start all over again, and then it's the luck of the draw as to who you get on the phone, as to how invested they are in the conversation. It's going to be a pain in the ass. It's going to be rough.
Well, Social Security doesn't even have phone service anymore, do they?
I don't think so. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Oh, phone service? That's. I believe they do, because they said that people have been on hold trying to get to speak to a person for hours trying to get through. I'm so sorry, David. I really am.
Well, I hope the downtown office continues to be open, so you can at least make a personal appearance there.
Yeah, my mom goes in personally too. Go ahead.
My wife she can't walk. How's she going to get there? She can't walk. She's in a nursing home.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's why so many people are fighting to make sure that we don't make it so hard on families like yours.
That's why I hate white MAGA Republicans.
Well, voting for their best interests. Yep. So 47 Social Security offices are closing, being consolidated, or moved into existing federal spaces across the country. That's 47. Let me see. I know that the one in Rockford is supposed to be closing, but I'm trying to see how many. There's a list. You can go to AP News, and they've got a list of offices that are expected to close.
I have no way of going to those lists. I don't have a computer.
Right. I think the biggest one in Illinois is going to be Rockford. So the ones in Chicago, you should still have access to them, and hopefully it doesn't become too busy and too crazy. David, I wish you the very best, and please call back again, will you? Can we hear from you again?
I've been a long-time listener, and I will call back. Thank you very much. I appreciate
that. My best to you and your wife. Take care.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's take a break here. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation. We've got some fun interviews coming up in the next hour. Stay tuned. More on WCPT 820 and KKNW 1150.
This is Tony Moray. I'm an estate planning lawyer who drafts living trusts and wills. Since the election, I've been hearing from my clients, many of them fellow WCPT listeners. And we all wonder, how did this happen and what can we do? The how is, of course, very complicated. My thoughts as regard to what we can do is simple but important. We need to take extra care of those we love. Having an estate plan using either a living trust or will can provide comfort in uncertain times like these. When the progressive values we hold dear are under attack, I feel we must make sure that our personal lives are secure and then work out from there. I've been drafting estate plans for my clients for over 30 years, and I will use all of that experience to help you. Please call me at 847-996-0496. My website is moreylawoffice.com. That's Morey spelled M-O-R-E-E. Again, the phone is 847-996-0496. There is no cost or obligation for our initial discussion. I look forward to speaking with you.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. Russia and Ukraine are set to hold their first direct peace talks in 3 years. But David Biller reports from Turkey, Russian President Vladimir Putin spurned an offer from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to meet face-to-face.
Whether there is hope for real progress also remains to be seen.
If you listen to Zelensky, he doesn't seem to think so. He has called the Russian delegation a sham, says it isn't empowered to make decisions. Now, the head of the Russian delegation told reporters Thursday afternoon they've been briefed by both Putin and the defense minister, and that they have all of the competencies and authority to hold these negotiations.
Defense officials say military commanders will be told to identify troops in their units who are transgender or who have gender dysphoria. They're to send them for medical checks intended to force them out of the service. In Maryland, an audit of autopsies has uncovered at least 36 deaths of people in police custody that should have been considered homicides. Annette Donahue has the latest from the trial of Sean Diddy Combs.
R&B singer Cassie faced cross-examination in the sex trafficking trial in New York of her ex-boyfriend. Defense attorney Anna Esteveo had Cassie read sexually explicit text out loud for the jury and suggested it was Cassie who ended Combs' career by making his behavior public through a lawsuit, not the other way around. Some of the text showed Cassie's anger with Combs and her admitted jealousy over attention he gave other women. They were also trying to show Cassie was a willing participant in his sexual lifestyle and pointed out while Combs could be violent, nothing he did amounted to a criminal enterprise. While reading their more affectionate conversations, Cassie testified Combs was charismatic, a larger-than-life personality. She also told jurors they weren't hearing the full context of the messages, that a lot was skipped over. I'm Ed Donahue.
And the Los Angeles County Sheriff's investigating rape and sexual assault allegations against singer Smokey Robinson. This is AP News. Lisa Dwyer reports there's a happy ending to the story of a hiker missing in California's Eastern Sierra.
After being missing for nearly 3 weeks, Tiffany Slayton, a 27-year-old Georgia woman, was found safe inside a cabin at California's Vermilion Valley Resort. Resort owner Christopher Gutierrez spotted a cabin door open and a pair of shoes nearby when he arrived to begin reopening the resort for spring.
She pops out, didn't say a word, just ran up, and all she wanted was a hug.
Fresno County Sheriff's spokesman Tony Body says,
3 weeks? It's unheard of.
Slayton was hungry, dehydrated, but otherwise in good condition. Her overjoyed parents, Bobby and Fredrina Slayton, had this message for their daughter.
One of the best birthday presents that Tiffany could receive because tomorrow is her birthday.
Happy
birthday,
Tiffany! I'm Lisa Dwyer.
And I'm Ben Thomas, AP News. Thank you for listening.
This is 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and streaming worldwide at WCPT820.com. We are Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter. Now, your WCPT 820 weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller from the Weatherology Weather Center. Scattered thunderstorms tonight. Some of those could be severe before midnight. A low temperature of 62 with southwest winds at 15 to 30 miles an hour. Isolated storms late in the day Friday. Otherwise sunny and warm with a high of 87. Southwest winds at up to 40 miles an hour. Saturday sunny and cooler. Highs near 70 with west winds at 15 to 30. Sunday sunshine and a high temperature of 58 degrees. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 93.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, Teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
Alexa, play WCPT.
WCPT from TuneIn.
Driving it home with Patti Vasquez, Patti Vasquez. From global conflicts to greenhouse gases, the folks refusing to wear masks says, and politicians getting caught grabbing asses says, she's driving it home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us. As we drive it home, hello to our friends listening in the evenings on KTNF AM 950 in Minneapolis, St. Paul, the progressive voice of Minnesota, and also joining us late in the evenings, that's pretty much the overnights. I don't know. I mean, maybe folks who have insomnia and some truck drivers and folks who stay up late. I'm a night owl myself on 1150 KKNW in Seattle. Thank you so much for tuning in here on WCPT 820 Chicago. We've been talking all week about the Republicans' goals to basically block funding for the most essential services that Americans rely on and for services that we have paid into. Joining us on the line is Liz Pancotti, Managing Director of Policy and Advocacy at Groundwork Collaborative, former Labor Policy Director for the U.S. Senate Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions. So this must be a maddening time for you, Liz. How are you doing right now?
I'm doing okay. Thank you so much for having me tonight.
I think okay is kind of the best for people who are paying attention, right? I'm okay. It's all fine.
Yeah. I think that's right. I will say I'm glad to not be in the United States Senate right now.
Holy moly. Okay, so let's go back a little bit from your perspective and even before the election, it was so hard to explain to people that this was the threat, right? That this was their intention. How maddening is this for you to see that people decided to vote to hurt each other?
I think that the real issue is, Donald Trump on the campaign plan really talked up a bunch of populist proposals, cutting taxes on tips, cutting taxes on Social Security, on overtime, on your car loan, on all of this stuff. And actually his true colors are taking away health care and vital food assistance programs from people so that he can give a massive tax break to the wealthy. Those are always his intentions. He backs away from those on the campaign trail. And it is unfortunate that, I think people were really frustrated with the cost of living, understandably so, and thought that he would fix it. That was really their mandate to him. And instead, he is driving costs up with his tariffs and threatening to cut the most vital programs that help people afford health care and food.
Well, and that's the thing is all the things that you mentioned. There weren't going to be taxes on overtime. There weren't going to be taxes on tips and your car loans and things like that. Where are those elements of this budget? What line would that be on?
A couple of them have made it in with, kind of strict rules around them. But the basic gist is that for kind of an average person making $50,000 a year, they will get on average a $500-ish tax break per year. And for people making over $1 million under this proposal, they would on average get $90,000 per year in a tax break. So for the pennies that they find, for you in the couch cushions, they are finding 158 times those pennies for the wealthiest Americans.
Holy cats. So these cuts that they're proposing, this is what I understand is like some of the biggest cuts are from federal work requirements, right? So over 7 years, they want to require childless adults from 19 to 64 to prove they work, attend school, or volunteer 80 hours a month. And so tell us a little bit about some of these elements. They want what's at stake here when we talk about the work requirements and this much of the cuts coming from that?
So I want to be clear about what work requirements are and what they are not. We have many, many studies that show that work requirements for public benefits do not increase employment. They do not increase labor force participation. They do not actually put people in jobs. They are, by and large, paperwork requirements. I just heard a man telling a story yesterday that he's a small business owner. He works for himself. He's on Medicaid, and he has had to testify and recertify his employment to his own business multiple times in 1 year, has gotten kicked off of his health care 3 times in 1 year because it's just a paperwork burden. And so these are not requirements that people work. They are requirements that people turn in a bunch of paperwork. And critically, at the same time, they are asking, the millions of people on Medicaid. There are about 80 million Americans on Medicaid. It's 1 in 5 and about half of all children. They are asking them to turn in paperwork to offices that they are also gutting. So there will be fewer and fewer people to review that paperwork, and people will go without health care. In addition to Medicaid work requirements, they are also proposing a similar thing for SNAP, otherwise known as food stamps, and those quote-unquote work requirements could kick more than 3 million people off of these vital food benefits. I think, too, it's worth thinking about, you are, for SNAP, for example, you are required to work, you're required to meet the work requirements. There's kind of a 3-month grace period. So if you lose your job and you aren't able to find one for 3 months, you can keep your food stamps. However, right now, the average number of weeks that an American unemployed worker is unemployed is 23. And so while you are unemployed looking for a job in today's labor market that, looks like it's getting worse, you could lose food stamps that help you put food on the table for your family.
Man, so tell us, I think we already know this, but the people who are going to be hardest hit by these cuts,
It's a lot of it is everybody. 60% of people know somebody who's on Medicaid. Our polling shows that more than 80% of people are worried about rising grocery costs, and more than 40 million Americans rely on food stamps to help them put food on the table for their families. Half of all kids rely on Medicaid. So this is not, the kind of random, lowest income people that we should take care of, obviously, but this is not a drop in the bucket. In some congressional districts, which are usually about 600 to 800,000 people each, this is more than 100,000 people in some congressional districts. I think, it is worth noting that even on the tax side of the bill, before you consider Medicaid or SNAP cuts, for people making under $15,000 a year, so either the lowest income people, part-time workers, some students, or people who have lost their job, this bill actually raises their taxes. So I think the issue is the cruelty is the point, and at the same time that they are hurting so many Americans, they are doing it all to pay for tax cuts for the wealthy and for corporations, incentivizing those corporations to offshore manufacturing and to ship jobs overseas. Also, they can cut Medicaid and SNAP. The other thing I want to note is, on the clean energy side of the bill, they are rolling back a lot of the investments that Democrats made as part of the Inflation Reduction Act a couple of years ago. And one estimate from the Rhodium Group, they're a clean energy group, they estimate that this will increase household energy costs by 7% each year.
Oh, wow. But Liz, this is for, I'm sure that there's a very important reason to make sure that people are suffering, and that would be to, make sure that the wealthy are wealthier. That seems like such a lofty goal. What the frickin' frack is what I'm saying. Yeah.
That's the gist. I think, for Trump and Elon Musk and their billionaire backers, this is really the gift for putting them back in office and for handing them the keys to the government. And they're going to make sure that those guys are taken care of while, for a normal American family, you're getting a couple $100 at best.
There's something that is in my notes that I had not seen before, which is the bill prevents states from protecting consumers from a logarithmic pricing and wage setting and automated systems that deny health insurance and public benefits. What? I thought that they were very much about the states being able to manage things and have states' rights and all those things.
They like when states do the things that they want them to do, like impose work requirements. But no, so there is, at the last minute, we saw a provision put into the bill that would prevent states from regulating artificial intelligence and automated decision-making systems for 10 years. So this is, regulations around children's privacy and online safety when it comes to AI. This is algorithmic price setting, like what Uber uses, what DoorDash uses, what some fast food and grocery chains are starting to use, and algorithmic wage setting, which is, in some cases how some nurses are paid, some, Uber rideshare riders are paid. This would prevent states from cracking down on that to protect consumers and workers for 10 years.
Well, this is something that I've noticed in doing some of my research. I do your own research, they say. Are you familiar with the way they're timing some of this, in the sense that the most, I guess, barbaric elements are going to hit after the 2026 elections? Is that my understanding about some of this?
That's right. So some of this stuff is phased in and phased out. So the Medicaid work requirements, for example, the worst of them are phased in 2029, actually after the next presidential election. So if a Democrat is elected, then that's who they could blame. But it's really funny. That is, you could say that's a calculated political decision, but there are actually members of their caucus right now who are saying, no, you need to phase those cuts in sooner so that we can kick people off their health care quicker.
Well, exactly. I mean, that's my understanding too. Is that that this would be something that happens. Pretty much the provider tax moratorium, right, takes effect upon passage. The work requirements would be delayed till after the midterms in 2028. And most coverage losses occur after the elections, as you mentioned. So what happens with where is the Senate on it? Like what stop? I mean, do we have any barriers to this being just run through?
I think the first barrier is the House. So right now they can only lose 3 votes in the House, and they have more than 3 members so far saying that they are not going to vote for this. It's for a couple different reasons. Some of them are worried about the Medicaid cuts. Some of them say that they're too worried about the deficit, and this bill doesn't actually cut enough spending relative to the amount of tax cuts it's getting. And then some of them are worried about what's called the state and local tax deduction. So how much of state and local, property and income taxes you can write off on your federal tax return. And they want to give up to $70,000 of a cap for those, which would only benefit the most wealthy households. So right now, they're in a pickle. They're trying to pass this bill before the end of the next week in the House, before they go on Memorial Day recess. And so far, it looks like they are really having trouble. After the House passes it, if it's able to, it'll go over to the Senate, where a number of members over there, again, they can only lose 3 votes. A number of members over there have expressed concerns. So Senator Josh Hawley penned an op-ed this week in the New York Times saying that he's opposed to the Medicaid cuts. Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin has said he is opposed to the amount that the bill increases the deficit. And so I think the other part of this is, all of these elected officials are about to go home for 2 weeks for Memorial Day recess. They're going to be in their districts at parades, at town halls, at pancake breakfasts, and they are really going to feel the heat of how unpopular this bill is, and then they'll have to go back to Washington and vote on it.
One of the things I worry about is we had a caller earlier in the week who was like, when we were talking about these looming cuts, he was like, well, who's being affected by this? And that's the part that I feel like they're going to be able to argue, since it won't be an immediate. For some people, it will be, especially like for states like Illinois, where we have triggering language in legislation. I think going back to Governor Quinn, where people who are on the Medicaid expansion, they will be. If we lose funding under a certain rate, they get kicked off automatically. But for a lot of people, since it won't be immediate, I worry that this sort of like drips and drabs will protect a lot of these MAGA Republicans.
I think it really depends. So there, as you said, kind of the state financing is one piece of this. So there are a couple of ways that they cut. Medicaid is funded in part by the states and in part by the federal government. This bill proposes a number of different ways of shifting a greater share onto the states. And so, for example, I was just looking at Minnesota the other day, and in Minnesota, by the end of, I think in like 6 years, the amount shifted onto the state budget for Medicaid would equal how much the state spends on K-12 public education in a year. And so they would have to either slash their entire public education spending or come up with that amount of money. It's just hundreds of billions of dollars to cover those people on Medicaid. Those phase in a little bit over time, but a lot of the state funding shifts do go into effect pretty soon. And as you said, some states have laws on the books that immediately cut coverage for a lot of people. The other thing is SNAP, food stamps, right now, and since 1939, have been an entirely federally financed program. States have never had to put any money into SNAP. Some states, kind of plus up benefits or have little extra programs, but the vast, vast, vast majority of it is funded by the federal government. This bill would, for the first time, shift quite a bit, up to 25% of SNAP costs onto the states. State budgets are already stretched so thin, and with DOGE cuts to many other services and to state funding programs for, university research and Fish and Wildlife Service and national parks, states are really struggling right now to even cover the budget shortfalls that they already face. And now they're going to be faced with really tough decisions, of do we stop spending money on roads and schools so that we can make sure people have health care and food to eat? Do we increase taxes? Where can we find places to cut?
Wow. I have really enjoyed, and yet my heart hurts this conversation. Because it really, the pain is the point. We've been talking to Liz Pancotti, who is the director of policy at Groundwork Collaborative. Is that right? Groundworkcollaborative.org. Go to groundworkcollaborative.org. Liz, I would love to have you on again. And maybe, where are you located? Where are you based out of?
I'm in D.C.
Oh, well, maybe we need to come to you and do a remote broadcast with you. But I would love to touch base with you again and get your thoughts on things as they develop. Can we reach out again?
That'd be great. Yes, of course. Thanks so much for having me. Anytime.
Oh, outstanding. No, outstanding, and yet a lot of screaming in my head. But I really appreciate your insight, your expertise, and we look forward to talking to you again.
Thanks so much. Have a good night.
Thank you. You too. Man, that's the stuff that nightmares are made of. All right, let's take a break here. We'll come back in a moment on WCPT 820, KTNF AM 950, and KKNW 1150. Let's talk to Merrill Miller. Let's talk about a farmer's market, you guys. Let's go out and gather, shall we?
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
Just a few years ago, I don't think anyone had heard or uttered the phrase whole body deodorant. But now it seems hard to turn on the TV and not see an ad for these products. Now, dermatologists we talked to about this said they do work. And yes, there are areas of your body other than your armpits that can smell. Whole body deodorants often have powdery elements that absorb sweat. And while most don't contain sweat-controlling aluminum salts like traditional antiperspirants, some of them do as well. Others contain innovative products that incorporate antimicrobial compounds which then target the bacteria that actually cause one to stink. But do you need a full-body deodorant? The consensus is no. For people with sensitive skin, these products can actually be irritating. And as one dermatologist put it, I still prefer soap and water. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got so tight. She said, GoodRx save you a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities, so it puts less stress on our household, and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
Do you disregard people's personal space? Sitting next to people in public, even if there are tons of open seats? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. There's still time. Come to Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale and get a queen mattress and adjustable base for just $499.99. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT 820, where facts matter.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Oh, Lady B, do I need to get you the number for Merrill Miller? I'm sorry. Sorry, Merrill. Or Merrill, give us a call. It's too many guests. This is like a guest every segment. I'm not used to this, Lady B. It's a lot. I'm so sorry, everybody. Let me search in the history. This is how my brain, it's too hot. My brain has melted. I'm working on memos about these cuts to Medicare and Medicaid. And hold on a second. Let me see if I... Lady B has not had a phone number for any of our guys. We're both looking furiously for... Oh, nope, it's not on that one either. Okay, I have to take my jacket off. It's too hot in here, everybody. Hey, Merrill, if you're listening, 773-763-9278 is the Credo Mobile text line. I almost gave you her number. here. I am so fried. Oh, hold on a second. I'm gonna get this. How do I? I don't want to call her on my cell phone. Wouldn't it be funny if we? Oh, here we go. There you go. Jerry just got it to you. All right, thank you. Okay. Can I? Now okay. We are reset here. You know what I need? I need to do a little bit of this. Let me do a little. I'm very stressed out about a lot of things. I'm trying to get things lined up as I plan to leave town tomorrow for New Orleans. I'm going to celebrate the life of my friend Kristen McAllister. And I kind of love that. I love and I feel sorry for her husband because my friend Kristen, who was diagnosed with tongue cancer, told her husband that because she had so many friends all over the country, she wanted to have a celebration in each of her cities that she had lived in. So this weekend we do New Orleans, over the summer we do Chicago, and in the fall we'll be doing Los Angeles. So Merrill, I am so sorry. A little bit all over the place today, as you can tell. How are you doing, Merrill? Are you hydrating?
Yes. I'm sitting here with my bottle of water.
Excellent. Well, I'm so sorry that I have to miss the market again this weekend, but tell folks where we can gather for the Northwest Side Farmers. Is it the Farmers Market Collaborative?
Collective.
Collective. I've heard it both ways.
Northwest Side Farmers Market Collective, still in conjunction with the Jefferson Park Sunday Market, with support from Portage Park and Independence Park markets, helping advertise and nothing else. But and we usually see at least a few people from over there out. So that's all fun. Still revisiting that, at least in sentiment, that collaboration we started during COVID and all that. But that's how we wound up with that name.
And I love having it at the Irish American Heritage Center, folks. It's such a great location. You've got the pub open there, and tell folks what they can expect, because as we get closer to the warmer months, the variety changes a little bit with some of our farmers and our producers that show up. But let folks know what they'll have there.
Well, and this one in particular is going to be kind of a fun mix, because while we'll have our regular summer produce vendors, that's Para Farms and Six Generations Farm and Local folks, who between the two farms, there is like so much good produce that you can find. Oh my gosh. But because of a scheduling issue, Finn's Ranch won't be able to make it. But Bennett Farms, who's been our winter meat vendor, is going to be out, and they have some great products. I mean, I know a lot of folks are looking for eggs. They got eggs, including duck eggs. So, there's that option. But, I mean, my husband has fallen in love with using their ghee. So it's kind of like a butter fat alternative to cook with. So if anybody's wanted to explore that option, check them out. And then a lot of the other vendors that folks have come to know and love, like, Hillary's and Ami's freeze-dried, that's like veggies and fruit snacks. Going through the list.
I know.
Vargo Brothers Ferments with pickles, kombucha, stuff like that. Rollicking Buckaroo Pepper Jam. Got to give a shout out.
Yes.
To Mike and his crew. Red Angel Hot Sauces will be back out. Moody Teas is going to be first time with us this Sunday, so we're looking forward to hosting them. But of course, if you're a coffee drinker, we will still have Pride Coffee Roasters.
Excellent.
So looking forward to that. A few people have gotten to know and fallen in love with Jean's Curious Crackers. And the name has an exclamation point in it, so it's, But the gluten-free crackers, they are absolutely addictive, so say pretty much all of my friends, including people that aren't gluten-free, needs category, but my friends who are gluten-free needs category, yeah, they love them too. For people who are vegan, we've got, and the name is a little bit deceptive in a way, or description rather, Molly's Foods has vegan egg rolls. Now, how are they egg rolls? Well, they're that roll style of food but it's nothing but vegetables inside. So they are a great snack/meal option. They come frozen and are To give you an idea, my husband is the ultimate carnivore. There's a reason that he's friends with all the people over at Bennett's now, but still loves the Molly's egg rolls. And if he loves them, that can tell you that pretty much everybody loves them who's ever had them. So, definitely worth checking out. And I think this is the only date that they'll be with us at the Heritage Center for the summer. Okay. So if you want to chase them down after this Sunday, it's going to have to be at the park and check the schedule there. I do have all the dates and everybody's listings up on both of the websites. So if anybody's ever curious, this one's the easy website is nwsfmc.com, which is probably hard to remember, but it's all the initials run together. Or Jefferson Park Sunday Market.com actually has the link to the Northwest Side Farmers Market Collective site as well, with the schedule, but not the vendor list. Vendor list for this series is only on the Northwest Side Collective site.
Excellent. It's a lot. And it's so much for you to manage but you do such a great job. And there's something nice about sort of the laid back elements of the Irish American Heritage Center. And I look forward to being outside and gathering back at the park and enjoying the sunshine and sometimes the rain. But that's a nice thing about being indoors is that we have that we can weather anything and then enjoy the great food. Tamales Express, as you mentioned, it's just wonderful stuff.
Yes, and another one-time this season vendor is going to be Magic Circle Crepes.
Yes, it's right.
They used to be regulars at the park gates, but because of the way the schedule works over there, wasn't working out for them. But since this one is a little bit off schedule, they were able to, put it into their calendar and give all of us a little treat of that crepe option. Now, as you mentioned, Tamales Express is going to be there, so if crepes are not your thing or you really need, that mango on a stick option, because, hey, have a crepe, have a mango on a stick. Yeah, I'm saying. Good stuff.
Everything's
right. And also making a appearance will be Luciana's Kitchen with their empanadas. So those are they'll have some of the breakfast ones ready to eat. They also bring a bunch of those ready to take home or all kinds of other options too.
Excellent.
So, and I know there's some kids out there that are very excited that they're going to be there. Because apparently the breakfast ones really speak to kids.
Oh, that's great. And folks, the Irish American Heritage Center is located at 4626 North Knox Avenue. If you've ever been on the Edens and wonder what's up at the top of the ramp on Wilson Avenue, it's the Irish American Heritage Center. And it'll be a wonderful morning. What are the hours again?
The market hours are 9:30 to 1:30. Pub hours are 11 to 3. And I should note that there's general parking in the south parking lot, which will be the first parking lot you see if you're driving on Knox Avenue, rather. But anyone that needs ADA parking, there is limited space in the north lot on the west side, so it's actually the Kilpatrick side. Sorry.
No worries. It's that time of year when it starts to heat up and then you have the air conditioning and stuff, it starts to get hard, especially when it's muggy out like this. No worries, Merrill. Excellent. Oh no, we've lost Merrill. Merrill's down.
Not quite. Not yet.
I know. I'm teasing.
Oh, one other vendor I wanted to mention, Charlie's Anatomical Adventures.
Charlie's Anatomical Adventures. Okay. Oh no.
Kids books.
Oh, kids books. Uh-oh.
I mean, what else do you expect at a farmer's market? But how does the body work? It's actually, I've been looking through the website and all the info, and looks so cool. So excited to have them out.
Excellent. Merrill, go get some water and put your hands up. And this Sunday, 9:30 to 1:30 at the Irish American Heritage Center, 4626 North Knox Avenue. I'm sorry I can't be there, but I will be there for the beginning of the summer. The Jefferson Park Sunday Market is every second and fourth Sunday of the month in the park at Jefferson Park over there on Long Avenue by the Jefferson Park Library and Post Office. Right, Merrill?
Right behind the field house, because that's the address we're given this year.
Exactly. Go get some rest, Merrill. I mean, we'll at least take care of your throat. Thank you for joining us. I've got to run, but have a good night, and thank you for your patience. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you. Let's take a break here. When we come back, we're talking to Kayla Ragona from Indivisible, Seattle. More in a moment on WCPT 820, KTNF, and KKNW.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller from the Weatherology Weather Center. Scattered thunderstorms tonight. Some of those could be severe before midnight. A low temperature of 62 with southwest winds at 15 to 30 miles an hour. Isolated storms late in the day Friday. Otherwise sunny and warm with a high of 87. Southwest winds at up to 40 miles an hour. Saturday sunny and cooler. Highs near 70 with west winds at 15 to 30. Sunday sunshine and a high temperature of 58 degrees. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 91.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
You've always wanted to drive a Porsche. What are you waiting for? Find your new Porsche at the Porsche Exchange in Highland Park. Browse and test drive our selection of pre-tariff cars ready for immediate delivery, like the 2025 Porsche Cayenne. And right now, lease the 2025 Macan Electric for only $999 a month for 39 months. Shop electric Porsche models and more by visiting the Porsche Exchange in Highland Park or PorscheExchange.com. 8,999 to signing. Excludes tax, title, license, and doc fee. No security deposit required. Expires 6/2/25.
If you're looking to refinance a home after a divorce, you need to call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender. Today, meet Lori, 50, social worker, score 650, income 90 G's a year. Call to refinance her mentally abusive ex-husband off the mortgage and title of their marital home per the divorce decree. Team Hochberg loan officer Anna Webdell helped Lori remove her ex-husband from the mortgage and title of the home, pay off debt totaling over $60,000, which included her attorney's fees, and saved her over $1,000 a month. Let's review. Team Hochberg loan officer Anna Webdell helped Lori remove her mentally abusive ex-husband from the mortgage and deed of the marital home, pay off all her debt, attorney's bills, and saved her over $1,000 a month. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of radio listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. Lower.com, equal housing lender, MLS 112-4061.
Because facts matter. You are listening to WCPT 820.
No detours, no distractions. Just bold ideas and real talk. This is Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us, and let's bring on our guest, our board member of Seattle Indivisible, Kayla Ragona, joins us on the line. Kayla, pleasure to meet you. Here's my question. I don't ask people how they're doing anymore because everything's nuts. Are you staying hydrated, my friend?
Not today, but in general. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Well, my pleasure, because we work with Indivisible Illinois and Indivisible Chicago and then all the different chapters. First of all, let me learn a little bit about you. Where'd you grow up, my friend?
I grew up right here in Seattle.
And how did you get involved with Indivisible Seattle?
I got involved actually at our very first meeting, which was the end of 2016. At the time I was disappointed in the election result. Obviously, I was really opposed to the idea that someone who was pretty clearly a predator, who was against women, had been elected. I was worried about rollback of progressive policies. My parents depend on Social Security. I want every American to be able to afford health care. Some basic concerns at the time. It's only gotten worse since then. So I actually came back to Seattle Indivisible just this past November. So I'm officially back in the fight.
Yeah, we don't want to rehash too much of what happened, but it was a punch to the stomach to wake up on November 5th to the reality that not only were we going to go through this again, but now they had Project 2025. What are some of the folks talking about? What's hitting the folks in Indivisible Seattle the most when it comes to this new administration?
So I think one thing that immediately comes to mind is that we're very, very fortunate to have a thriving and large trans community here in Seattle. We are proud and protective of our trans friends and family and neighbors. So a lot of the hate mongering, the fear mongering, the real focus on trying to attack and dehumanize trans people is something that comes up for us all the time. We are, of course, worried about illegal deportations. We're worried about people losing due process, and then a lot of focus on the guys over at Doge, what they're doing, what is frankly theft. They are taking services that taxpayers have paid for and taking them away. That's stealing, and so we have a lot of focus on that as well. We have a really strong part of the Tesla takedown movement that's active here in Seattle. We call ours Defund Musk. Sorry, no defending. And so that's another issue that is alive and well here in Seattle.
Oh man, yeah, no kidding. I mean, you saw how it played out in Wisconsin when it came to the Supreme Court race. When you watch that, did that give you some hope that people are paying attention to the fact that Elon Musk is getting his nasty hands all over the programs that we have paid into?
Yeah, absolutely. We were really glad to see that his money can't buy votes. Ultimately, can't buy democracy. That's what we're here fighting for. Is saying that it is not okay for a handful of billionaires to make all the choices in our country. We want to see money get out of campaigns, out of politics. That's one of our long-term goals. Wisconsin was very heartening. We're delighted to see Tesla sales drop. We wish that Elon didn't have government contracts that were going to make up that difference potentially. It's just another example to all of us here of just the really intentional theft of money from taxpayers going toward Trump, Musk, and their billionaire buddies.
Yeah, it is absolutely insane. And then we see what they're doing. Republicans seem determined and just dead set on cutting all these programs that people rely on. And again, as I mentioned, we've paid into this. These are they have different language for it. But this is when you have billionaires and the uber wealthy draining the system and then basically treating everybody else as though we're a nuisance and we're a burden, when really the amount of money that they get in subsidies and tax breaks and passive income, it's horrifying is what it is. What are some of the what are people drawn to when it comes to Indivisible Seattle, like with the protests and writing postcards? What are you guys focusing on right now?
So we just finished last month. We were part of the organizing coalition for the Hands Off event. We held it here in Seattle Center and got, we think, around 30,000 attendees.
Nice.
So great. Yeah, really, really great to see Seattle turn out. We know that it's a pretty progressive city. That's why a lot of us are here. But definitely heartening to see that turnout. And what we're focusing on coming up next will be No King's Day on the 14th of June. So we're going to be organizing an event here in Seattle for that. And then that's Indivisible. It's the 50-51 movement, Black Voters Matter, Public Citizen, a whole lot of groups working on that. And then here locally, we're stoked to be partnering with Planned Parenthood, their Action Alliance, Common Power, the Washington Immigrant Solidarity Network, and One America, which we are
That's Representative Pramila Jayapal's organization that she co-founded. We are delighted to say that Seattle is home to that group. So working with all those groups and more in coalition to hopefully throw a really great event on the 14th next month. And the message for that is really just that we don't have kings in America. No. We don't have dictators in America. We've actually fought wars against kings and dictators. We are not going to bow down and watch a military birthday parade. We're going to fight back, and we're going to be in the streets trying to pull attention away from this silly birthday parade and toward the power of the people.
Have you found that people who perhaps maybe sat on the sideline, excuse me, now it's catching, Lady B. Have you found that people who maybe were on the sidelines before, who maybe weren't involved in Indivisible Seattle, are showing up now at meetings and really want to know how to help, how to change things?
Yeah, absolutely. One of our biggest problems is that there is no space in Seattle that's large enough to hold our monthly meetings. So we're having to be, we're having to be really creative. We used to meet in one of the labor organizing halls that's available. They've been loaning us their space for years now, and I think it holds a few hundred people, and we've outgrown it. So we're trying to be creative. We're doing a lot of organizing online, but definitely we have seen a huge increase in interest, to the point where our inbox is actually really hard to keep up with because we have so many people, and we're a nonpartisan group, and I think that's reflected in the people who are reaching out to us. It's not just, dyed-in-the-wool longtime Democrats who want to be involved. It's Democrats, it's Republicans, it's former Republicans, it's libertarians, it's people who've never voted before. A lot of people reaching out to say, we might not agree on everything, but what's going on right now is wrong, and we recognize that. We're on the same side as far as wanting America to stay a democracy, and so we are pleased to welcome anyone who's against fascism here in America is absolutely welcome to join us and be on our team.
I love that. And how do they join your team?
Oh, gosh. They can go to SeattleIndivisible.com, and that has all of the information on how they can join. They can connect with us by email there. They can follow us on social media. We have left Twitter. We're X. We're on Blue Sky. We also have a very large Facebook group where we do some of our organizing. But yeah, they can go to our website, SeattleIndivisible.com, and from there kind of, pick any way they want to get involved. We do meetings in person. We do a lot of organizing online. So whatever works best for people, we are thrilled to have them join us.
Thank you so much for everything that you do, and we would love to check in with you again and make sure people know ahead of No King's Day coming up in June. Please join us again to let folks know how they can get involved and take action.
Absolutely. We would love to stay in touch. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You have a great evening, and go get them, please. We're doing this together, and it's so wonderful to connect with our friends in Seattle. Again, it's Kayla Ragona she's a board member with Seattle Indivisible. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks.
Thank you. Have a good night. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back after this on WCPT 820, KKNW 1150, our friends listening in Seattle, and KTNF AM 950 in Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
But do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Because facts matter. You are listening to WCPT 820.
If you're listening to this station right now, you've definitely heard my voice before. Hi, I'm Hawk.
And I'm Pete. And we're with Source Solar, your local source for solar. Source Solar is Chicagoland's premier solar installer, providing solutions for over 1,000 homeowners and business owners across Illinois and Iowa.
With over a decade of industry experience and deep roots here in Chicago, we have the expertise to help your transition to clean, renewable, resilient energy.
We can guarantee that we save you money day one without any out-of-pocket cost to you. This means you have an instant ROI, instant payback, and can save money to add to your bottom line day one.
At Source Solar, we source everything as local as possible, meaning we always carry the Made in USA sticker.
Find us online at www.source.solar. Stop in our office at 5710 North Northwest Highway or give us a call at 773-985-3992.
And don't forget to ask for Hawk
or Pete.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Hi, everybody. For those of you who aren't necessarily behind the curtain here at the Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez show, I've been working all day writing and researching the implications of the Medicaid cuts, which are I don't want to use the scary words like catastrophic, bad, really, really. How about we just go with really, really bad? So I've been a little bit distracted through the show because it's weighing heavily on my heart. So I know it's weighing heavily on a lot of you who are following the news. And there's breaking news that DHS has requested 20,000 troops to handle mass deportations because apparently the Proud Boys in their handkerchiefs tied around their faces isn't enough. At any rate, these are the things of why I'm running behind and apologizing to the committee woman of the 40th Ward, Maggie O'Keefe. Maggie, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm good. It looks like we're all about to get really rained on, including everyone watching the Beyonce show.
Oh, no. What?
I know.
Wait, where's Beyonce?
She's at Soldier Field.
Is she really? Is that why Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton was doing her cowboy thing today? I thought she was like welcoming her this summer. It's today? Oh, no.
It's 3 nights. Yeah.
Oh, so my.
I know.
Oh, my goodness. Well,
everyone driving, be careful.
Oh, my God. Wait a minute. Tornado watch? What is happening? Is this here? Tornado watch? You guys, there's a tornado watch, which expires at 10 p.m. What is... I got to go, Maggie. I can't be in this building. I walked here. What is happening? Oh, no. Oh, Maggie, can you drive over to the station and drive me home? Well, what... I know you're nowhere near me, and I only live 2 blocks away. But I'm just saying, if I can have I'm going to need a tunnel built for me to get home from now on.
Right.
Maggie, you have a lot going on. First of all, let's start with this weekend and immediate action and what folks can do to get involved. What's going on this weekend?
Well, this weekend, U.S. Senator Jon Ossoff is coming to town. And for what I'm told, this is going to be one of the last times he comes back for a little while because, he might be running against Marjorie Taylor Greene to keep his seat.
What? Oh, wait, what? I didn't know that was a deal. Oh.
Yes.
Holy.
Yes. I know. It's not confirmed. She has not come out to say that she's running for U.S. Senate, but there are polls. They are showing that she is the quote-unquote strongest candidate. I guess maybe, she does lift weights. She does got that.
She does her toe-to bars. She's got her toe-to bars going. It's so nasty. Anyway, that's not you. That's me. Yep. You're a little classier than I am.
No, hardly. Just privately.
So he's coming to Chicago. Senator Ossoff is coming to Chicago this weekend. Tell us about the event.
Well, there's a low-dollar fundraiser for him. So if you want to meet Jon Ossoff, you should reach out to me personally. I can get you a ticket in somewhere in Logan Square, and the event is at 2 p.m.
Okay.
In Logan Square.
On which day?
Mm-hmm. It is on Saturday.
Okay. So Saturday. So how, again, remind folks how they can get a hold of you to possibly be, around Democrats who are doing the heavy lifting. All of them.
That's right.
From the volunteers to the senator. How do they get a hold of you?
You could actually go to his website. If you go to electjon, John is spelled JON.com/Chicago 2025-0517, you can buy your ticket there, or you can reach out to me personally at info@MaggieO'Keefe.com, and I'm happy to share that link. And Patty, I think I sent it to you too if you wanted to post it or whatever you'd like. Happy to post there as well.
Oh, excellent. I appreciate that. And you have a fundraiser coming up. There's a couple things coming up because we have King's Day, we have your birthday, we have a lot of stuff going on. So tell folks
There's
about
a lot going on. I know. It's like I have my own website, but I don't update it as I should because I have so many things going on. So King's Day is June 14th, which happens to be our unfortunate president's birthday, also Flag Day. I am hosting an event with my amazing friends, and hopefully you can have them on the show, Joe James and Andy Diamond from Columbia College, where I went to school. We're hosting an event at Ravens Theater over, in Rogers Park on June 14th, 12 to 3 p.m. Indoor, outdoor. There's going to be comedy, and I think I heard Patti Vasquez.
Oh, gosh!
Be there.
Wait a minute.
I don't know.
Everybody make sure it's on my calendar. Not Lady B. Lady B's got too much on her hands. But Jerry, could you make sure it's on my calendar?
Please. Yes, so we have that event going on. And then, of course, I have my annual birthday party. Like, we all have birthday parties, but I've learned to monetize it for my own self. If you believe in smashing the patriarchy, which is this year's theme, and you believe in the work and the mission of the work that I do, you can always come out and support me for my, just all the things that we're doing. We going to have a crazy petition season, I think, Patty. I think I'm going to be eyeballs up to paper with all the
candidates. Oh my God! Yeah. So for folks who aren't familiar with what a committee woman does, because I honestly not until about 10 years ago, and even then, like even until 2019, I kind of heard about it and like getting out the vote and connecting with voters, making sure they're engaged and things like that. But there's a lot more that goes to it. So tell folks a little bit about the work that you do as a committee woman for the 40th Ward.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you. Committee people are elected to 4-year terms on the presidential primary to essentially help Democrats learn about the candidates, get out to vote for candidates up and down the ballot in all elections. So presidential primaries, generals, midterms, and municipals. Our charge is to get Democrats up and down the ballot elected, and also Democrats at their homes out to vote. We are seeing, I don't know if you saw, Patty, but in Omaha, Nebraska, we unset a 3-term mayor, Republican. It's incredible. But, the reality is the reason why that happened is because of low voter turnout. And so, look, we have to beat them at their own game. We have to keep showing up, showing out every election, even when we're feeling good and comfy, like we clearly did in 2024. So this is what we do as committee people: is we make sure that Democrats know to come out to vote and why their vote is important. We are working on a civics research project where we are talking to voters who habitually do not vote in primaries but do vote in generals to understand their voting barriers, get them the tools and resources they need to come out to vote in these really, really important primary elections. So that's just some of the work that I personally do. I can't attest to all of my committee people.
Well, I'm going to add to that, but that Maggie O'Keefe, the committee woman for the 40th Ward, also worked very hard to get volunteers up to Wisconsin to work on the Susan Crawford race. So she's not just keeping it local. She's making sure that democracy is protected wherever we have access and have the ability to drive, call, write postcards. Maggie's doing all of that as well. Where do folks go to your, what's the website again for you?
Oh, for me is MaggieO'Keefe.com. As easy as Irish as it sounds.
And then for Maggie's birthday party, it's going to be Tuesday, June 3rd. It's going to be at the Fireside Inn. You can go to Act Blue. Again, go to her website. You connect there for the Act Blue. Can you tell Kelly Marie that I'll probably be bringing a check from friends of Patti Vasquez, but you can put me down.
Yes, I'll call my fundraiser.
I know you were on call time, so I appreciate that. It was also proper that I not take that call during the day. So.
Oh, that's right. Sometimes I forget. I'm so glad you didn't see this.
Exactly. There you go. Maggie, I love you. I love the work that you do, and thank you so much for your patience today. We've kind of been running a little bit behind, so have a great evening.
Good.
Big hugs to you, and I will talk to you again soon.
Absolutely. Everyone, drive safe. Get home safe,
Yes.
Patty.
I got to run.
I'll talk to you very soon.
I got to run. Thank you so much for that. I got my tornado warning from Committeewoman Maggie O'Keefe. Thank you, Lady B. Thank you to all of our guests. Have a great night. I'm late. Bye.
Is credit card or other debt making it difficult to pay your rent or mortgage? Home insecurity is often the unintended consequence of an inability to pay mounting credit card debt, student loans, or medical debt.